Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your sources, articles, research, our own notes, you name it, and we really pull out the key insights, the nuggets of knowledge. Think of it like your shortcut to getting properly informed. We aim for those surprising facts, those aha moments, but without, overloading you.
Right. And this one is tailored just for you, the listener.
Yeah.
Today, we're stepping into a place where the past isn't just history, it feels, present.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can almost feel it.
Picture maybe a warm southern night, humid magnolias, but underneath all that beauty, there's this sort of ancient chill.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
We're talking about places where history isn't just in the books, it's kind of in the air you breathe.
Absolutely. So today we are taking a, let's say, chilling plunge into the most haunted places in Georgia.
The Peach State.
The Beach State. And, for all its charm, all that natural beauty, it has this remarkably dark, kind of tumultuous past. Our sources really highlight its role, headquarters of the Confederate Army, countless bloody Civil War battles tearing through the landscape, and then, of course, the burning of Atlanta, just devastating.
And it wasn't just the war either. Georgia went through these awful epidemics, yellow fever, especially in places like Savannah.
Oh yeah, the sources mention that quite a bit.
Huge numbers of casualties, really desperate measures, this deep, often violent history.
Well, our sources show it's left this indelible mark, made Georgia a real hotbed for paranormal activity.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much suffering can one place just absorb before it starts echoing back?
Exactly. So, what does this all mean for us today?
Well, for this deep dive, we've looked at a whole range of sources. We've got articles, explorations from travel writers, paranormal experts, all trying to get at the truth behind Georgia's most famous hauntings.
And while Georgia's history touches everywhere, Savannah really stands out in our sources, doesn't it?
It really does. You'll see why. We're covering everything: historic homes, huge cemeteries, hotels, even a lighthouse. It's quite the range. Shows the sheer variety of spectral encounters people report across the state.
Our mission here is to really dig into the stories, the history behind them, and the specific things people report. The phenomena that make these places so famous in the paranormal world.
And if you think about the bigger picture, it's about understanding how the sheer weight of history can genuinely shape a place. It's not just ghost stories, is it?
No, not at all.
It's about how past events impact the present, turning the seemingly ordinary spots into, conduits for something else, lingering energies, unexplained stuff.
It forces you to ask, can intense human emotion, can tragedy really leave an imprint on the environment itself?
It's a fundamental question in this field.
A profound one. So let's unpack that. Why Georgia? Why is this state, known for sweet tea and, southern hospitality, such a paranormal hotspot?
Well, our sources point straight to historical trauma as a big reason. A major catalyst.
Makes sense.
Georgia was right in the thick of it during the Civil War. I mean, countless battles, immense suffering, staggering numbers of deaths that literally soaked the ground.
You mentioned it being Confederate HQ.
Exactly, and experiencing things like Sherman's March, the burning of Atlanta, just utter devastation.
So the idea is that this widespread trauma leaves something behind.
That's the belief, yeah. Widely held in paranormal circles and backed up by lots of accounts in our sources. They call it residual energy.
Residual energy.
Yeah, like an imprint of intense emotion, suffering. It's thought to contribute directly to these persistent hauntings. Think of it less like a conscious ghost wanting to chat.
Right.
And more like a traumatic moment from the past just playing back. Like it's etched into the environment itself.
Wow, like the ground itself remembers the pain.
Pretty much. And it wasn't only warfare causing this spiritual density, let's call it.
The epidemics you mentioned.
Absolutely. Yellow fever, especially in coastal cities like Savannah, was catastrophic. Our sources detail these outbreaks leading to mass casualties, forcing desperate, often grim measures.
Grim is the word.
I mean, imagine the sheer number of dead bodies in Savannah. They had to build morgue tunnels just to transport them underground to burial grounds at night, out of sight.
Morgue tunnels?
Yeah.
Under Savannah. That's chilling in itself.
And these burial sites, often unhallowed or hastily dug, combined with that constant presence of sickness and death. It fuels so many of the chilling stories people still report today, creates this deep sense of sorrow and unrest.
And the sources touch on other dark chapters too, right? It wasn't just war and disease.
No, they give the full spectrum of suffering. There's the tragic trail of tears, the forced removals, the immense suffering of Native American populations. That leaves deep spiritual wounds on the land.
Of course.
And one source mentions, as a historical note, the rise of the Ku Klux Klan in certain areas. Now, that's not tied to a single event like a battle, but the collective trauma, the fear, the injustice.
That oppressive atmosphere.
Exactly. Some believe that contributes to the lingering, heavy energy people report in certain places. It sort of sets the stage for troubled spirits. It's a reminder that all kinds of human suffering can leave a mark.
What really strikes me is a contrast you mentioned earlier. Georgia, with its picturesque scenery, those live oaks with Spanish moss.
That classic Southern charm.
Right. And yet underneath that, it's got this reputation as one of the most haunted states. Savannah, maybe the most haunted city in America.
It's a stark dichotomy, isn't it? Makes the stories even more compelling. Adds this unexpected layer of eeriness to what looks like an inviting place.
So connecting this back, it's not just about scary stories. It's about understanding how these deep historical wounds, these intense human experiences, might genuinely shape the spiritual landscape of a place.
It really forces you to consider if the fabric of reality can hold on to these echoes of the past, like a psychic imprint.
The sources get into theories about this.
They do. Is it a psychic echo, just imprinted on the stones, the air, a replay of past events, what they call a residual haunting? Or does that profound suffering actually anchor conscious spirits, prevent them from moving on, leading to intelligent hauntings where, interactions might be possible?
Right, where the spirit seems aware.
Exactly. The evidence, anecdotal as it often is in these cases, certainly makes you wonder how tragedy might genuinely alter the very fabric of a place, leaving this lasting spiritual residue.
Okay, with that unsettling backdrop firmly in mind, let's check into some of Georgia's most haunted accommodations.
Haunted hospitality.
First up, the Ellis Hotel in Atlanta, often called grimly the Titanic of hotel fires.
It's a fitting name, sadly. It started life as the Weinkauf Hotel, opened back in 1913, a real marvel for its time, 15 stories high, and they actually called it fireproof.
Irony.
Huge irony. Because of its brick and stone construction, that confidence makes its fate even more heartbreaking, almost a cruel twist.
And what a fate. The sources paint a horrific picture of the 1946 fire. Started on the third floor, became this inferno. Claimed 119 lives.
A staggering number.
Including the original owners, the Weinkaufs. And the tragedy was made worse by the lack of fire safety. No sprinklers, no fire exits.
Just one stairwell. Right?
Exactly. And it was quickly engulfed. People were trapped. It cemented that Titanic of hotel fires reputation, a preventable disaster, really.
And the aftermath lingers. Staff and guests at the Ellis Hotel report all sorts of chilling paranormal activity.
Like what?
Well, hearing disembodied screams in the halls, smelling smoke when there's no fire, seeing apparitions, figures in the windows like they're reaching out.
That's incredibly specific and awful.
What's really compelling, though, is the smoke alarms. They mysteriously go off in unoccupied rooms at 2:48 a.m.
Wait, is that significant?
It's the exact time the fire started.
Wow, okay, that's precise.
Classic example of what researchers often call a residual haunting, like a moment of intense energy just replaying itself. An echo.
But it's not just echoes.
No, because then you have the elevator. It seems to have a mind of its own. Takes guests to the wrong floors, no mechanical reason. Sometimes opens onto an empty, cold corridor, then just closes again.
Okay, that sounds more interactive.
Right. Suggests maybe a more intelligent or conscious interaction. Adds to that unsettling feeling. Makes you wonder if you're really alone.
Okay, from Atlanta, let's head down to Savannah, where, as you said, hospitality often comes with spectral roommates. The Marshall House Hotel has a particularly grim history.
Yeah, built in 1851. It was meant to be a grand hotel, but history intervened. It ended up serving as a temporary hospital during two major crises.
A Civil War and yellow fever.
Exactly, both times. So, its history is inherently linked to just immense suffering, death, trauma. It really laid the groundwork for its hauntings. The sheer volume of agony in those walls, it left a powerful imprint.
And that history became chillingly real during renovations, didn't it, in the 90s?
Oh, yeah. Workers made this truly disturbing discovery. Human remains.
What kind of remains?
Believed to be amputated limbs of Civil War soldiers, found not just in the ground, but in the walls, under the floorboards.
Oh, my God.
In the walls.
Yeah.
A gruesome find that just starkly underscored the hotel's dark past, made the connection between its history and the hauntings undeniable.
And that pain seems to manifest pretty intensely.
Definitely. A wide range of phenomena reported, especially on the second and fourth floors. Guests see faucets turn on and off by themselves.
Classic.
Hear disembodied voices in the halls like whispers or moans. Loud crashing noises at night like furniture falling or maybe old medical equipment being dropped.
Startling.
Doorknobs seen turning from the outside, but no one's there. But the most unsettling, reports of guests smelling rotting flesh on different floors.
Ugh, visceral.
And some female guests have reported being touched inappropriately on their thighs while in bed.
Okay, that's crossing a line from spooky to disturbing.
Very. And then there are the sounds of bouncing balls or marbles. Really disorienting, especially knowing children died there during the epidemics. Wakes guests up. They look for a child, find nothing.
Chilling. Okay, next up, in Savannah's haunted hotel circuit, the 1790 Inn and Tavern.
Savannah's oldest hotel.
Right. So a magnet for history buffs and ghost hunters. Promises both charm and chills.
Its history alone makes it compelling, but it's really the legend of Ann Powell that defines its haunted reputation.
Tell us about Ann.
She was young, just 17, pregnant, and she tragically fell to her death from room 204.
Fell, or?
Well, the accounts vary. Some say heartbreak over a sailor who left her, others a lost love. But whatever the cause, her presence is consistently reported in room 204 and on the top floor. A classic tale of tragedy tethering a spirit.
And she's not a quiet spirit.
Not at all, it seems. Sources describe her as playful, maybe mischievous, likes to mess with guests.
Oh, so.
Moving belongings, sometimes taking things from the room and putting them in the courtyard below, or just hiding them. Apparently, guests hear unexplained, crying, faint voices, and some have woken up to see an apparition right over them in bed.
Oh, no.
Only for her to then seem to jump out the window, reenacting her death.
That's terrifying.
And the bedsheets being tugged, sometimes quite violently, is so common in room 204 that some guests apparently leave midnight. Can't take it.
I wouldn't blame them.
In fact, the inn makes you sign a waiver if you stay in room 204, acknowledging the potential for paranormal encounters.
Wow, a waiver. That says something. Are there other ghosts there?
They say so. There's mention of a former cook, believed to have been a voodoo practitioner, adds another layer, maybe some odd smells or energy shifts, near the kitchen area.
Okay, Georgia clearly has a lot of haunted hotels. The Windsor Hotel in Americus. Another one with a tragic story.
Yes, a grand Victorian place built 1892, hosted Al Capone, Jimmy Carter.
Impressive guest list.
But it's rumored to be haunted by a young girl and her mother, the original housekeeper. The story is heartbreaking. They supposedly died after being thrown down an elevator shaft.
Oh, off.
And people still hear bone-chilling screams, like a young girl's echoing from the shaft, like they abruptly stop.
Jeez. Any other spirits there?
Floyd Lowry, the hotel's beloved longtime doorman, he's said to still make appearances, tidying the lobby, maybe holding the door for unseen guests.
Then there's the Jekyll Island Club Hotel. Opulent Gilded Age place.
Right, looks luxurious, but there are whispers of a sinister past. And talk of ghostly apparitions. Interestingly, sometimes dressed in medieval attire.
Medieval. That's unusual for Georgia.
It is, adds a strange twist. Guests also report figures in period clothing vanishing, unexplained footsteps.
And Savannah just keeps delivering, right?
Yeah.
Other haunted inns.
Oh, yeah. The Hamilton Turner Inn, beautiful B&B, lots of encounters, moving objects, shadow figures. The Kehoe House guests waking up to ghosts at the foot of their bed.
Yikes.
And the Old Harbor Inn, home to Hank. He's described as a grouchy Joker ghost. Pulls pranks, especially in room 405 or 406. Moves things, turns off lights.
Hank the grouchy Joker ghost. Got it.
Clearly, if you want a haunted hotel stay, Georgia's got you covered. It's fascinating how these places meant for rest become stages for lingering tragedies.
The past really embedding itself in the present. And that connection doesn't stop at hotels. You can apparently dine with the departed in Georgia, too.
Eerie eateries and bewitching breweries.
Starting with Moon River Brewing Company in Savannah. This place is famous, right?
Oh, yeah, practically a celebrity in the paranormal world. Featured on Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures. Its fame isn't by chance. It's rooted in a really violent, tragic past. A hotspot for intense activity.
It started as a hotel.
A grand one, built 1821 by Eleazar Early. But its history got dark quickly. It was used as a hospital during the yellow fever epidemic. Many died there, especially children on the upper floors. Their suffering just saturated the place.
And there was other violence, too.
Yes, in 1832, a man named James Stark, known locally as a drunk and troublemaker, was shot and killed inside the hotel by a Dr. Philip Minus after an argument.
So Stark is still around.
That's the belief. His restless spirit is said to cause mischief on the second floor where he died. People report bottles of liquor flying off shelves, being physically grabbed or pushed by something unseen. Sounds like Stark's aggressive spirit.
Okay, so active on the second floor. What about elsewhere?
It gets more intense as you go deeper. The basement is considered the most active floor, haunted by a spirit they call Toby.
Toby. What does Toby do?
Toby gets physical, brushes up against people, pushes them in those dark, narrow spaces, causes sudden, intense cold spots, sends a shiver right down your spine.
Sounds unpleasant. And the upper floors?
Third and top floors. Often seen as the most haunted, maybe the most emotionally draining. Sources mention a full-bodied apparition, Mrs. Johnson, a woman in white, seen repeatedly on the third floor. Sometimes looks distraught, sometimes just watching.
And the children from the yellow fever ward.
Yeah, the sounds of children talking, playing, sometimes crying, frequently heard up there, adds to this heartbreaking layer. And there are reports of people being shoved hard down the stairs, like something wants them out.
That's aggressive.
What's really unsettling, though, according to staff, is the top floor. Less Hollywood activity, maybe, but it's their least favorite. It just has this profoundly quiet, sad, heavy atmosphere. Like a lingering cloud of sorrow. Hard to breathe easy up there.
Wow. Okay, from Moon River's intensity, too.
Yeah.
The old pink house. Gorgeous pink exterior, but haunted.
Totally deceptive. A classic case of don't judge a book by its cover. Completed 1789, it's believed to be haunted by its original owner, James Habersham Jr.
He died there.
Just 10 years after it was finished, under suspicious circumstances. Officially, declining health. But the popular belief, though there's no hard proof, is suicide in the basement over his wife's infidelity.
Ah, the story persists.
Exactly. And whether it's fact or folklore, that theory fuels the ghost narrative, gives the place this palpable sense of unresolved tragedy.
And he's a polite ghost.
Apparently. His southern hospitality carried over, often seen in colonial clothes in the tavern, sometimes sipping a phantom ale, just people watching.
Like he's still the host.
Employees say he straightens tables, puts chairs back, lights candles when no one's around, especially after closing. There's even this charming detail in some accounts.
Oh, and?
He's supposedly more active in October and March because he dislikes the Savannah summer heat.
That's oddly relatable for a ghost. Are there others there?
Seems so. A crying woman heard on the second floor but never seen, a friendly war veteran in uniform, gives a ghostly salute. Former house servants, their presence felt subtly. And sadly, child spirits, thought to be ghosts of slaves, sometimes seen or heard playing in the tavern, which used to be the basement work area.
Such layers of history. Now for something completely different. The Pirate's House in Savannah.
Swashbuckling spirits.
One of Savannah's oldest buildings, nearly 250 years old, tied to the city's darker, rougher past.
Definitely. It has this grim history linked to Shanghai.
Kidnapping sailors.
Exactly. Unsuspecting patrons, often drunk, get nabbed and forced onto pirate ships. The sources mention secret tunnels from the basement to the river, likely used for exactly that. Adds this layer of real-world danger and desperation, a reminder of a lawless time.
And the hauntings reflect that.
Seems like it. Staff report glasses falling from shelves, apparitions wandering the dining room, shadowy figures, indistinct shapes. A general unsettling presence felt throughout. And the sounds. Heavy boots on the stairs, chilling screams from those hidden tunnels after closing time.
Like the Shanghai sailors are still crying out.
It really seems that way, and what's captivating is the tale of Captain Flint from Treasure Island.
The fictional character.
Legend says the real Captain Flint, a notorious pirate, died there and decided to stick around. Raises the possibility that a real person inspired the character, blurring literature and haunting, makes the place even more intriguing.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Any other spectral dining spots worth mentioning?
Quick mentions. The Sixpence pub, British pub feel, haunted reputation, flickering lights, feeling of being watched. Entendi's Tavern, less known to tourists, but staff report activity, especially in the basement. Cold spots, whispers.
So even grabbing a bite in Savannah might come with a side of spooky.
It seems that way. These aren't just restaurants. They're historical artifacts with stories still unfolding. The past is very interwoven with the present there.
Okay, let's move from dining to final resting places, battlefield public spaces, starting with Oakland Cemetery in Atlanta.
Atlanta's oldest and largest burial ground, established 1850, it's huge, 40 acres, holds about 70,000 people.
Another 50,000.
Including nearly 3,000 Confederate soldiers, many killed in action. Also famous names like Margaret Mitchell, author of Gone with the Wind, and golfer Bobby Jones. The sheer scale, the volume of history and stories, it makes it profoundly somber and, well, active.
The battlefield of the dead, you could say.
Literally and figuratively. So many buried there experienced traumatic deaths, Civil War soldiers, yellow fever victims. This intense concentration of tragic endings is widely believed to fuel the hauntings, creates this resonant historical energy.
And the most famous phenomenon there?
The roll call of the dead. People distinctly hear disembodied voices calling out names, military style. Sometimes they even hear phantom responses, like a ghostly muster.
That is incredibly specific.
And apparitions appear at night, walking among graves, some in full Confederate uniforms, seemingly replaying duties or final moments. It's like the sheer volume of history and tragedy animates the air itself, an overwhelming, energetic saturation.
They offer tours there, right? Halloween tours.
Yeah, capturing the spirit of Oakland Halloween tours. Popular tradition lets visitors experience the history, maybe the hauntings, after dark, often with stories tied to specific graves, a unique way to interact with the past.
Now, over to Savannah again, Bonaventure Cemetery, known for its beauty, right?
Absolutely Gothic charm, majestic live oaks, Spanish moss, elaborate Victorian monuments, creates this inherently eerie, beautiful aesthetic, almost like it was designed for spirits to linger.
And the hauntings there.
The story of Little Gracie is famous. A child buried there in 1889, her statue gets lots of offerings. And there are widespread reports of hearing ghostly cries of infants and young children. Heartbreaking.
That is sad. Anything else?
Some of the funerary statues, people report they seem to wickedly smile as you approach them. A really chilling, disorienting detail. Makes you question what you're seeing.
Creepy.
Bonaventure really calls to history buffs and paranormal fans alike, a testament to Savannah's haunting past. Every gravestone feels like it hides a mystery, beauty and sorrow intertwined.
Another place of suffering in Savannah, the old Candler Hospital.
Its history is key. First hospital in Savannah, 1804. Second oldest continuously operating in the nation. That's a long timeline for tragedies to accumulate.
Including those yellow fever epidemics.
Exactly. It played a critical role in the 1820 and 1854 outbreaks. Over 1,700 locals died there. It really raises the question, how much suffering can one place hold before it takes on a life of its own, becomes saturated with echoes of pain?
And the morgue tunnels we mentioned earlier.
Built beneath the hospital to transport the overwhelming number of dead bodies underground to Forsyth Park at night, out of sight. Those tunnels are highlighted as one of the most haunted parts. Reports of voices, footsteps, people being touched or grabbed by unseen forces, as if patients or staff are still down there.
And there's a tree. The hanging tree.
Yes, the chilling legend of the 330-year-old Candler oak tree outside, ominously known as the hanging tree, said to have been used for public executions. People report seeing ghostly bodies hanging from it at night. A spectral reenactment connecting the site to historical injustice deepens that somber atmosphere.
From hospital suffering to battlefield brutality, Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield. Immense death toll there, right?
Huge. Sources say at least 5,350 men died in just one battle on that ground. Really hammers home the scale of the Civil War conflict.
And the ghosts of soldiers remain.
It seems the horrors trapped many souls there. Reports describe ghostly soldiers, some missing limbs, wounded, patrolling the battlefield, then just disappearing. It makes you wonder, do the horrors of war trap souls in some kind of loop, a perpetual replay?
Do people hear things too?
Yes, reports of distant cannon booms, gunfire, echoes of the battle, and sometimes the pungent smell of blood and gunpowder immerses you right back in that spectral conflict.
You have the ghost here. That's unusual.
Very unique detail from some accounts. Ghost deer supposedly materialize, run right at witnesses, then dissolve into mist. Adds this ethereal twist, like even nature bears a spectral mark of the tragedy.
Okay, shifting gears to Lake Lanier. Known for being dangerous, but also haunted.
Very deadly reputation. Over 700 deaths since it was created in 1956. But the paranormal aspect goes deeper, tied to a real historical injustice.
The flooding of Oscarville.
Exactly, that's the controversial history. Lake Lanier was made by flooding Oscarville, a prosperous, mostly black community that had already faced horrific racial violence, lynchings, riots earlier in the century, homes, businesses, even cemeteries, all submerged.
So the context is crucial for the hauntings.
Absolutely. The creation of the lake displaced and erased a whole community under traumatic circumstances. The local claim is that the souls from the submerged cemeteries still haunt the lake, causing mysterious drownings, boating accidents.
Wow.
Supernatural sightings near Brown's Bridge are also common. It really suggests that unresolved historical injustices, especially involving forced displacement, can manifest in haunting ways, leaving a spiritual residue on the landscape itself, an echo of unquiet souls.
Let's touch on Mount Hope Cemetery in Dahlonega. Older cemetery.
Pre-Civil War. Has those rare tab and slot gravestones where the headstone fits into the base, adds to the unique ancient feel.
What makes it paranormally significant?
Compelling photographic evidence from the 1950s. A local librarian took photos showing multiple distinct spirit forms and otherworldly mist among the graves.
Actual photos.
Yes, tangible evidence, which is rare. They're preserved in the Dahlonega Gold Museum. Offers this fascinating, unsettling glimpse. People also report seeing Confederate veterans roaming the grounds where they died, figures in uniform among the stones.
And we have to mention Savannah's haunted squares again, briefly.
Right. Many of Savannah's 24 historic squares, beautiful now, were originally burial grounds or execution sites. So the city's very layout is built on death and tragedy.
Madison Square.
Reputedly one of the most haunted outdoor spots. Shadow people, ghostly figures seen, possibly linked to the heavy fighting during the Revolutionary War's Battle of Savannah right there.
Calhoun Square.
One of the largest unhallowed burial grounds. Bodies buried quickly, without proper rites, leads to widespread hauntings not just in the square but in the houses built over it.
And Wright Square.
Particularly dark, past site of public gallows. Many executions took place there. Numerous ghostly happenings reported today, disembodied groans feeling watched.
And it shows how the city's landscape is its history, celebrated and tragic.
Exactly. And we should quickly mention Fort McAllister and Old Fort Jackson, too. Civil War sites near Savannah, described as soaked with blood and highly haunted. Phantom soldiers, sounds of battle, embodying that military history of conflict.
Okay, let's turn to haunted homes and historic haunts. Mansions, mysterious structures. Starting with the Hay House in Macon, the castle on Peachtree.
It's magnificent. 18,000 square feet, Italian Renaissance revival, National Historic Landmark. Just incredible architecture. But those ornate walls hide secrets.
And only 2 families ever lived there.
That's the fascinating detail. The Johnstons and the Hays makes the concentration of hauntings seem even more pronounced, like the energy of just those residents is particularly strong.
And it's active. Poltergeist-like.
Seems so, especially on the 3rd floor. Reports of a full-bodied apparition of an elderly woman, sometimes in the servants' area. Strange sounds with no source, chandeliers swinging violently, doors opening and closing on their own, even when locked. Lights flickering on and off.
So is it intentional acts or residual energy?
That's the question, isn't it? Hard to say. Could be conscious spirits, could be powerful energy imprints, replaying moments of intense emotion.
Moving back to Savannah, the Sorrel Weed House. Notorious reputation.
Definitely. Known for its hauntings, linked to both deep personal tragedy and wider historical conflict. Multiple layers of sorrow there.
The family tragedy is quite sad.
Heartbreaking. Francis Sorrel's first wife, Lucinda, died young. He married her sister, Matilda. She tragically descended into insanity and, it's believed, threw herself off the balcony to her death. That intense sorrow, loss, madness, it's a core part of the haunting. You feel a lingering despair.
And the historical conflict.
Crucially, it's built right on the grounds of the Siege of Savannah. One of the bloodiest hours of the Revolutionary War. Hundreds died there. So the very ground is saturated with suffering, adding this broader historical tragedy to the personal ones.
Do people see Matilda?
Reports describe a woman in black, believed to be her, walking around the site searching, supposedly looking for a companion for eternity. A really chilling thought for visitors.
In Madison, there's Heritage Hall, Greek revival home, popular with ghost hunters.
Yes, beautiful place, but it's Virginia Nisbet's story that defines the main haunting.
She died in childbirth.
Tragically, yes. In the master bedroom in 1851, that room is now known as the ghost room, steeped in the echoes of her final moments.
And the activity there.
Profoundly heartbreaking. A female voice heard speaking softly when no one's there. The clear apparition of a woman seen lying on the bed, maybe in distress. And the deeply unsettling sounds of a baby crying, faint but persistent. It evokes real empathy, as much as fear, makes the tragedy feel very present.
The Kennesaw House in Marietta, another contrast. Beautiful exterior, dark past.
Exactly. Beautiful antebellum look, but it was a Civil War hospital. The echoes of suffering resonate deeply.
Ghosts of soldiers.
That's what people report. Restless ghosts of the injured seem to remain. Visitors see apparitions in Civil War-era clothing, hear strange noises, moans, shuffling feel uneasy, especially at night. Like the building itself remembers the pain. A residual haunting on a large scale.
The Pillars Estate in Albion Historic Plantation, mystery, tragedy.
Yes, enveloped in intrigue due to its tragic background. A real hub for paranormal activity where the past feels very present.
What do people experience there?
Eerie but fascinating things. Ghostly apparitions sighted. Voices that don't make sense, indistinct whispers or clear but disembodied statements. And freezing cold spots, even on warm days. Creates this sense of otherworldly communion, like walking through different times at once.
The Rock House in Talbot, very old, right? Early 1800s.
It's ancient relic. The sources say its aged stones conceal a sordid past, hints at generations of untold stories.
And tragic ones.
It's described as rife with stories of tragedy that stand the test of time. Local legends whisper of restless ghosts, otherworldly occurrences, noises, feelings of dread. Seems the sorrow, maybe violence of the past is etched into the stone, refusing to fade.
On Cumberland Island, the Dungeness ruins. Once magnificent, now echoes of the past.
A really moving example of the fleeting nature of splendor. Once a grand home, now ruins echoing with stories of tragedy, luxury, abandonment being reclaimed by nature.
What do visitors report?
Seeing ghosts, sometimes just glimpses through crumbling arches, hearing spooky whispers on the wind like old conversations or laments, feeling a general sense of depression while wandering the remains, natural beauty blending with haunting passages, the air feels heavy with history.
And the Uharley-covered bridge near Kingston. Rebuilt after a tragedy.
Yes, rebuilt in the 1880s after the original washed away, killing a man. But the hauntings people talk about often focus on other equally horrifying stories.
Multiple legends attached to it.
That's what's compelling, how different dark legends gather around one spot. Two main tales. One of a Native American girl hung from the rafters. People report hearing a shifting rope, a faint struggle.
Chilling. And the other.
A rambunctious young white girl whose long hair got caught in a wagon wheel as she jumped from the bridge, snapping her neck. The creaking sounds heard there today. Some say it's the girl swinging by her hair.
Oh, that's a disturbing image. Finally, St. Simon's Lighthouse. Lighthouses are inherently eerie, aren't they?
They really are, especially one with a dark past. This one was built 1872, replacing one destroyed in the Civil War, so built on conflict.
But the main haunting comes later.
From an 1880 incident. Lighthouse keeper Frederick Osborne was shot and killed by his assistant, John Stevens. Apparently after Osborne made an inappropriate comment about Stevens' wife. Stevens was acquitted, but Osborne seems to have stayed.
So he's still on duty.
That's the truly intriguing part. Reports persist of a ghostly figure, believed to be Osborne, walking the stairs, the walls, doing his nightly inspections. And maybe most compelling, mechanical problems at the lighthouse have mysteriously fixed themselves. The light has come back on after failing. Many believe Osborne is still diligently on duty, watching over his post from the other side. Can't abandon his responsibility.
These homes and structures really offer an intimate look at the past presence, often tied to specific tragedies. The veil seems thin there.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's quickly cover some uncategorized oddities, overlooked hotspots, places beyond the mainstream but still chilling, like the Surrey ghost light.
Deep in the swamps of Surrey, an enigmatic phenomenon. A ghostly light that dances among the trees, hovers over the bog, fills the night with this inexplicable ethereal glow.
Any explanation?
Its source is unknown, blurs the lines between natural and supernatural, fuels beliefs from lost spirits to swamp gas theories. A real mystery.
Haygood Mill in Pickens County, a menacing reminder.
Mid-19th century mill, worn timbers, groaning gear, really evokes its industrial past. The sound of grinding stone, flowing water seems to echo.
And the hauntings.
People who brave it report spectral experiences. Disembodied voices, workers, maybe children. Eerie silhouettes in the shadows. Unexplained occurrences like objects shifting, knocking sounds. A collision of history and the paranormal. The echoes of its grind, the lives lived there, still resonate.
And back to Savannah one last time for its hidden world of hauntings. River Street.
Always known for weird energy, Ghostly tales since Savannah's early days, those old warehouses along the river, rumored to be intensely haunted. A paranormal investigator's playground, one source called it. Lots of residual and intelligent activity reported.
Factors Walk, often overlooked.
Yes, between River Street and Bay Street, those elevated walkways connecting cotton warehouses. Rich in history, intrigue, ghosts. Lots of commerce and tragedy happen there. Tour groups often report activity, cold spots, shadow figures being touched.
Radley's Lock and Key.
Unique spot. Rumored haunted. You can see objects, some of them possibly haunted, through the windows. Draws the curious.
And the hidden tunnels of Savannah.
Perhaps the most intriguing. Sources talk about a world frequently hushed beneath the historic streets. A network of tunnels used for shanghaiing, moving goods, maybe the dead, each with its own ghostly secrets. A true deep dive into Savannah's unseen past. Really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden histories, what spectral echoes are waiting just beneath the surface everywhere? How much lies beneath our feet?
It really does. And that wraps up our deep dive into Georgia's most haunted places. We've journeyed through a landscape where, well, the state's tumultuous history wars, epidemics, personal tragedies, has left this undeniable spiritual imprint.
Yeah, across hotels, homes, cemeteries, public spaces. What's fascinating is how profoundly the past resonates. Not just in history books, but in these palpable, often chilling experiences.
It's a real testament to the enduring weight of human emotion, memory,
Yeah,
seemingly shaping the atmosphere of a place.
definitely.
We hope this deep dive has given you, our listener, that shortcut to being well-informed about Georgia's paranormal side. Hopefully some surprising facts, those aha moments, giving you a really comprehensive understanding.
And whether you believe in ghosts or not, these stories really force us to confront the enduring weight of history, don't they?
They absolutely do.
So the provocative thought maybe is this. What echoes from the past, we wonder, are still waiting to be heard in the quiet corners of our own world? And how might understanding these connections enrich your perception of the places around you, making you see familiar spots with perhaps new and more sensitive eyes?